This is Radio Nepal. I am Dela Prasai with the news, the headlines first. Central Working Committee meeting of Nepali Congress to be held today. Home Ministry starts to address the problems concerning the human settlements in the river corridors of Kathmandu Valley, public transport fare reduced by 3%, and nearly 230,000 people evacuated from their homes after powerful typhoon made landfall in China's Guangdong province. Now the news in detail. The Central Work Execution Committee meeting of the Nepali Congress is going to be held at 1 p.m. today. Nepali Congress General Secretary Bishop Prakash Sharma said a meeting of the office bearers of the party yesterday decided to hold the Central Work Execution Committee meeting today to discuss a political proposal and report. He added that the meeting would also deal with contemporary politics, organizational plans, schedules, and the formation of various divisions, among others. The Ministry of Home Affairs has started a coordinated initiative to address the problems concerning the human settlements in the river corridors of Kathmandu Valley. Accordingly, the meeting of heads and officers of relevant ministries and agencies held under the chairmanship of Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister Narayan Kajashrestha yesterday concluded that the concerned agencies should work together to solve the long-standing problem. It was agreed that the high-powered committee of the integrated development of Bagmati civilization, the Kathmandu metropolitan city, and the National Land Commission should meet soon to resolve the problem within a fixed time. The meeting decided to form a task force with representation from the Ministries of Home, Urban Development, Physical Infrastructure and Transport, and Land Management and Poverty Alleviation, and High-Powered Committee for Integrated Development of Bagmati Civilization, the Kathmandu Metropolitan City, and the National Land Commission and Kathmandu Valley Development Authority, Domestic airline companies in Nepal have recently announced the implementation of value-added tax VAT on their services. The Airlines Operators Association of Nepal issued a press note yesterday informing the public about their decision to incorporate VAT in domestic airfares, aligning with the budget for the upcoming fiscal year 2023-24. Consequently, the fares for domestic services have increased by up to 6%. Meanwhile, the fares for public transport have been revised and reduced by around 3% with a fall in the prices of petroleum products. The fares were adjusted as per the auto pricing system, and the revised list has come into effect from yesterday. The Department of Transport Management made this decision after diesel price fell by 4 rupees per litre and petrol price dropped by 6 rupees per litre lately. The foreign ministers of BIMSTEC member nations have discussed the ways of consolidating cooperation within the regional organization. Minister for Foreign Affairs N.P. South said during the BIMSTEC foreign ministers meeting in Bangkok of Thailand yesterday the discussions were held on matters of energy cooperation, expansion of power transmission line, and climate change, among others. Minister South had left Kathmandu for Bangkok on Sunday to attend the BIMSTEC Foreign Ministers' retreat. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said Foreign Minister South and his Indian counterpart S. Jaishankar held a sideline meeting in Bangkok yesterday itself. During the meeting, they are said to have agreed to work closely to implement the agenda of cooperation set out by their leadership. Finance Minister Dr. Prakash Sharan Mahat has said achieving sustainable development goals is challenging for underdeveloped countries. In the third G20 Finance Ministers and Central Banks Governors meeting that began in India yesterday, Finance Minister Dr. Mahat mentioned that the challenges of achieving sustainable development goals in the underdeveloped countries have been added due to a lack of revenue sources and increasing public debt obligations. regulations. The finance minister further said that per capita investment in the health sector could not be increased due to the lack of resources. The finance minister, through the conference, called on international community to provide grant and concessional financial assistance and technical support to underdeveloped and developing countries. The federal government has spent around 80% of the planned annual budget in the fiscal year 2022-23. It may be noted that the government had come up with an annual budget of 1,783,736.3 million rupees for the last fiscal year. According to the Financial Controller General Office, with the fiscal year coming to an end, public spending has accounted for 79.69%. In the last fiscal year, revenue collection appeared less than the government's planned budget expenses. The government could only collect 71% revenue out of its target. Chief Secretary Dr. Baikuntha Aryal has directed various ministries and line secretaries to effectively implement budget, policies and programs for the current fiscal year and formulate plans accordingly. In a meeting in Singh Durbar on the first day of the current fiscal year, Chief Secretary Aryal also directed the clearance of the arrears to effectively achieve the goals set by the government. The government's decision to implement 2% luxury charge on services provided by high-end hotels and resorts, as well as on imported liquors and precious metals, has been put into effect from yesterday. The 4- and 5-star hotels and resorts charge their clients 2% additionally while providing services from coming mid-July. The hearing on the habeas corpus petition related to the Lalita Niwas land grab scam will continue today at the Supreme Court. The hearing took place before the division bench of Justices Prakash Kumar Dhungana and Nakul Subedi of the Apex Court, but could not be completed as time ran out. Hence, the hearing will continue today. Secretary Krishna Bahadur Raut, former Election Commissioner Sudhir Kumar Shah, business person Mein Bahadur Gurung, and former employee Dharma Prasad Gautam of the Land Revenue Office have filed the writ against their arrest in the case. The Supreme Court is hearing 6 such writ petitions together. The National Human Rights Commission NHRC has urged the government to immediately begin the process for ratification of the Rome Statute. Issuing a press statement on the occasion of the Day of International Criminal Justice yesterday, the NHRC Assistant spokesperson Shyam Babu Kafle made such appeal to the government. The NHRC made such appeal to the government to ensure justice to the victims, stating that ratification of the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Code would pave the way to ensure justice to the victims and make the perpetrators accountable for their involvement in the serious violations of human rights, including war crimes, genocide, crime against humanity and act of aggression. The NHRC has reminded that it wrote to the government 15 years ago for the Rome Statute ratification. You're listening to Radio Nepal 8 AM English News Bulletin. We continue with international updates now. A powerful typhoon has made landfall in China's Guangdong province with nearly 230,000 people evacuated from their homes. Talim, the 4th typhoon this year, hit the southern coast with winds of nearly 140 km per hour. Storm surges lashed the coast, while fierce winds and rain led to hundreds of flights and trains being cancelled. Talim made landfall at around 10:20 local time, the China Meteorological Administration said, issuing an orange alert, its second highest warning. Those evacuated in Guangdong included more than 8,000 fish farm workers were brought ashore, China's state media say. Local authorities also ordered the closure of dozens of coastal tourist destinations. A small plane that crashed into hangar at an airfield near Warsaw, Poland has killed 5 people, officials say. At least 7 people were also injured in the crash on Monday evening, Health Minister Adam Nedzelski said. According to BBC, people had been sheltering from bad weather in the hangar, police media reported, quoting the fire brigade. Fire brigade spokesperson Monika Nowakowska-Bryanda said the weather has a probable cause for the crash. crash. 4 helicopters and 10 ambulances were also dispatched to the scene of the incident in the village of Chichino, 47 kilometers from Warsaw. Police media identified the plane crashed at a Cessna 208. Local fire department confirmed the incident happened at an airfield in Ticino and posted a photo on Facebook showing the tail of the plane sticking out over a hangar. Now the general weather forecast for the country for today. Forecasting division says the weather is likely to be generally to mostly cloudy throughout the country. Light to moderate rain is likely to occur at some places of Gandaki province, Lumbini province, Karnali province and Sudur Paschim province and at a few places of the rest of the provinces. Kathmandu's weather report now, maximum temperature of 29.4 degrees Celsius and minimum temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. With this news, we have come to the end of this bulletin, but before we wrap up the headlines once again. Central Working Committee meeting of Nepali Congress to be held today. Home Ministry starts initiative to address the problems concerning the human settlements in river corridors of Kathmandu Valley. Public transport fare reduced by 3% and nearly 230,000 people evacuated from their homes after a powerful typhoon made landfall in China's Guangdong province. Well, that's all that we have for this edition. Our next English news edition is at 2 in the afternoon. You can also listen to us online at our website www.radionepal.gov.np for more news and online programs. Stay tuned, stay safe and have a good day.